The Strait of Hormuz reopens, but only under a short, fragile deal. Now, U.S. and Iran sending conflicting signals as global markets react in real time. Then an 18-wheeler shuts down a Tarrant County highway for hours, topping off a series of serious crashes. But first, we're going to start with weather. Welcome to WFAA at 4. I'm Adriana D'Alba here with my friend meteorologist Cassie Hyder. Cassie, big changes for the weekend. I got to say, I'm sick of this rain. I told you it's making my head hurt. I think we're all fed up, right?
Well, it hasn't even rained today.
But just the gloominess is like, oh, come on.
I mean, I know it has. We've had a lot of clouds around this week. It's definitely been more humid, so there's definitely that moisture in the air. Once we can get this cold front to come through, things are going to be looking good.
Okay.
At least for a couple of days.
There is hope.
Yes, there is some hope coming, but first we have to get through tonight and tomorrow. This is our DBU camera. You can see all the clouds hanging around right now. Temperatures have still made it into the 80s, and it's also been a little windy. That wind sustained out of the south at 17 miles an hour, but we have gusts around 33 to 35 miles an hour. We're at 79 degrees in McKinney, 78 in Denton, 83 right now in Terrell, and 84 degrees in Corsicana. Satellite and radar showing all the clouds that we've been stuck under all day today. You can see the showers north and west of Wichita Falls. That is all streaming off to the north and east into Oklahoma. So for the rest of this evening, we stay dry. But overnight tonight, the cold front moves in. That means rain and storm chances also move in. The coverage is going to be at about 50% by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's going to be pretty cool. Big temperature drop. We're going to talk about how far temperatures will climb tomorrow afternoon and how long that rain will last coming up in just a little bit. Adriana.
Thanks, Cassie. Iran announcing today the Strait of Hormuz will remain open for at least the next 5 days. President Trump celebrating this development, telling ABC News he believes this will all be resolved very soon. But he says that blockade on ships on Iranian ports will not come down until an agreement to end this war is finalized. ABC's Stephen Portnoy is in Washington now with more.
The announcement today came from Iran's foreign minister that the Strait of Hormuz is completely reopened along predetermined routes while the ceasefire with the U.S. lasts. That's for at least the next 5 days. The news sending stocks soaring, the Dow up 1,100 at one point. U.S. oil prices also coming down to around $81 a barrel, their lowest level since the first days of the war. There are about 250 tankers carrying 165 million barrels of crude and product stuck in the Persian Gulf, according to Matt Smith at Kepler. It's unclear when traffic will get back to normal. President Trump hailed the news on social media, saying the strait is fully reopened and ready for full passage, and thanking Iran.
The U.S. Navy's ability to blockade the straits was kind of a checkmate move on them. They no longer have leverage.
In a phone interview, the president told ABC's Jonathan Karl the U.S. will work with Iran to remove its stockpile of highly enriched uranium, which he calls nuclear dust. Trump says it will be brought to the U.S. in what he calls a very peaceful manner, adding that the Iranians have had enough. On social media, the president said Iran has agreed to never close the Strait of Hormuz again. But the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps may not be on the same page, with Iranian state media reporting the IRGC is tying safe passage through the strait with the lifting of the new U.S. naval blockade, which the president says will remain in place until an agreement is finalized. Iran's foreign minister saying the opening of the strait is in line with a new 10-day ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel. The president insists the agreement between Israel and Lebanon is separate from any deal with Iran, but he said today the U.S. would prohibit Israel from bombing Lebanon again. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
There was no jury in court today in the Tanner Horner trial as testimony turned to a battle of experts. Horner previously pleaded guilty to the killing of 7-year-old Athena Strand in Wise County in 2022. Now jurors will be tasked with deciding if he'll be sent to death row. Today, a prosecution witness told the judge he does not believe Horner is autistic, a key claim from his defense. The witness also says drug use did not play a role in the murder. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez breaks down today's testimony and walks us through what will come in the week ahead. That is tonight on WFAA News at 6. And you can watch the beginning of the trial right now on WFAA Plus. If you've missed it, it's streaming for free on demand right now. You can also find our live blog of the trial day by day on WFAA.com. Well, we're following a developing story this afternoon out of Wylie, where a teenager was killed in a shooting. Police say the shooting happened at Dodd Park last night. When they got there, they found a 17-year-old boy shot. Medics rushed him to the hospital, but he died. We've been digging into the story all day, and we'll have new details for you at 5. Let's switch gears now. Check out this video from this morning's crash in Tarrant County. That wreck kept Loop 820 closed for more than 6 hours. Just a big mess out there. Northwest Loop 820 at Quebec Street is finally back open in both directions after that 18-wheeler crashed. Fort Worth PD tells us crews spent hours on the scene working to clear the roadway. You could see there was just total blockage there, no traffic moving through, and they worked to clear that roadway. But at this hour, still no word from officials on what exactly caused that crash. Well, let's toss it over now to traffic anchor Stacia Wilson for a closer look at the traffic.
Yes, totally different scene what we're looking at right now. This is in Northwest Tarrant County. Checking it out from our 828 Navajo camera, you can see traffic light in this area and no major issues. In fact, that map is as green as can be. So yes, it was a mess mid-morning to mid-afternoon, but that is cleared. All of those lanes are back open along the northwest portion of Loop 820 at Quebec Street. Also checking out the rest of Metroplex. We do have slower traffic along Central Expressway, but I just checked this camera and things are looking a little bit better. Just a heavy traffic area though, but just off the High 5, that backup taking a little bit to ease out in the southbound lanes of US 75 at Meadow, but again, that scene just cleared. Now we're heading on over to Rockwall County, where for it seems like just about every day this week, we have had a problem at this exact intersection. We're looking at I-30, this time on the westbound side of the interstate at Horizon Road. So folks that are in Rockwall County getting ready to cross over Lake Ray Hubbard, facing a backup there that almost extends, well, it does, all the way to Fate. So expect that slowdown if you're traveling through that area in the near future. And then one more to let you know about. This is down in Hutchins, 45 northbound at Fulham Road. You can see you do have one lane blocked. That's causing a backup there on the northbound side. Traffic that's heading toward I-45 and the I-20 intersection. Here's a look at the slower traffic at Pleasant Run. Hey, as always, wherever you're headed this morning, or this afternoon rather, please be careful. Adriana?
All right, thank you, Stacia. Dallas is getting threats from Texas Governor Greg Abbott right now, saying cooperate with ICE or lose millions. In a letter to Mayor Eric Johnson, Governor Abbott threatened to withhold tens of millions, including more than $55 million worth of funding, safety funding for the FIFA World Cup. Now, this is all because of DPD policies tied to a cooperation with ICE. The state says the city's policies go too far in limiting ICE cooperation and don't match the terms of its funding agreement. Dallas police leadership have said they're trying to avoid getting directly pulled into the federal immigration enforcement decisions, but the city now has just days to respond, and that pressure already spilling over into Arlington. Our Scoop Jefferson explains how officials there are reacting.
The governor's letter to the city of Dallas threatening FIFA money is getting reaction here in Arlington, including reaction from the police department, which is responsible for public safety during the World Cup games. Immigration enforcement policies being called into question, possibly jeopardizing funding for the biggest event ever in DFW, the FIFA World Cup. That's because this letter from Governor Abbott warns Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson the city could not only lose about $32 million in state grants, but more than $55 million is at risk in World Cup safety funding. Abbott calling for Dallas to change policies he says limits police cooperation with federal immigration authorities. Part of the response from the city of Dallas reads, "We remain committed to complying with all applicable state and federal laws while continuing to prioritize public safety for the residents of Dallas and ensuring our officers have the resources and support necessary." Arlington Mayor Jim Ross unmoved by the threat, saying after years of planning, they will be ready to host 9 World Cup games, the most of any American city.
I look at those issues as something between Dallas and the governor's office, and we're going to stay focused on doing what we do here in Arlington. We have great relationships with all of our federal agencies who do criminal investigations. Whether it's ICE, the FBI, DEA, ATF, it doesn't matter who it is.
Mayor Ross says since they started planning for the World Cup games years ago, public safety will be top priority here in Arlington. In Arlington, I'm Scoop Jefferson.
Dallas Arts Month is underway and North Texas creative scene is on full display. Now a new campaign stepping in to help fund it. We'll show you how to get involved coming up.